Now, mate, I'm going to start off by I can't remember exactly what episode it was. It was recently. We put out a bit of a, I'm not sure if it was a public service announcement, but we definitely made it clear that we want to avoid incidental or unincidental contact with the umpire.
Oh, yeah, it was the advice about celebrations, wasn't it?
Celebrations.
Yeah.
That's it.
A couple bits of contact.
Yes. So I'm what's the opposite of pleased to share?
Displeased?
I'm
Unpleased?
displeased to share.
Unhappy?
I'm unhappy.
I regret to share.
I regret to inform you that Tex Walker has collided with another umpire.
Has he?
He has over the weekend, mate.
Oh, no.
So, I mean, I'm sure that everyone's okay, but I think the most upsetting thing is that I guess no one's really listening to our advice.
It is a surprise because I know how widely regarded this podcast is within the AFL community.
Yes.
So I am quite shocked by that information.
That's okay.
It's pretty tough to hear.
It is.
You know what they say, though?
What do they say?
Something about tough times never lasting. Only tough people last. I'm not doing the accent.
Welcome, Jack, one and all, to another episode of Fine Leg to Full Forward. How are we doing, mate?
I'm very well, mate. How are you?
I'm doing all right.
I'm impressed you kept a straight face then, as I was singing just as right up until we hit record. Then
Yeah, you were
went
singing
straight into it. No, let's not
yeah.
get caught into what who was singing what and who. Don't worry about that, mate. Don't worry
Okay,
about that.
all right. Well,
Trying to
actually, I do want to get
expose
caught
me in
into it.
front of-
He was singing a song from Popstar, Never Stops, Never Stop, Never Stopping. When was the last time we watched that?
Too long ago.
Too long.
Mm.
Probably about 2 weeks, I think.
Oh, it's longer than that. You fucking bullshit artist.
How was your long weekend, mate? Long weekend? Did you took the Monday off?
Took the Monday off, yeah.
Yeah.
We were encouraged to take it off at work, so
Yes.
I don't mind it. So, it was good. We went up to Moolumbar to see Tash's family.
Merba.
Bit of a Murbar, yeah. Bit of a whirlwind visit, but always nice to see Tash's fam.
Yep.
Yeah, it didn't really feel like a long weekend though. By the time we were there, it almost felt like it was time to come home.
Yeah.
Straight away. So, yeah, April just been busy, mate.
It happens a bit with travel, I think, particularly. It takes it out of you, and then by the time you're there, especially if you're meeting a whole bunch of people, doesn't really feel like you're ever really relaxing, even though you might be doing some relaxing things like sitting around and talking, things that are normally considered relaxing. It's like, yeah, it all does feel like a rush, regardless of what you do.
Yeah, my old man called me, like when we got back.
Yeah.
It was just, he says, I know you just got back from your holiday. Like, I want to hear how it was soon.
Yeah.
It's like, was it a holiday?
Yeah.
I don't know if it was.
Yeah,
Obviously,
yeah.
It's different when you're just going to see family, but
Yeah.
how was your weekend, mate? Did you take the Monday off too?
I didn't.
You didn't?
I didn't. But it was still a good weekend, and
Yeah.
had yesterday. Yesterday.
Mm.
Yes,
You see, we're all out of whack because we do usually record on a Tuesday.
on a Tuesday.
Now recording on a Wednesday, so
Yeah.
the night before this is released. So fingers crossed that it's the recording and editing and exporting's all gone to plan. Knock on wood.
Nah, pretty stock standard weekend.
Yeah.
Spent some time with Cammy. Watched the Mario movie, the new Mario
yeah?
movie. Yeah.
Thoughts?
I liked the cinematics,
Okay.
like the graphics. I thought that was pretty good.
Well, if I wasn't in a rush to watch it before, I definitely am after that review.
After that, yeah.
So running it back, Anzac round.
Yes, Anzac round.
Sorry, just clear my throat there. I might just have a swig of water.
Oh yes, I want to.
And so running it back.
Yep.
Anzac round. Water swigged. It's a special round every year, isn't it?
It certainly is.
It's the tributes before every game. I like that they've started doing it before every game.
Yeah, as opposed to just obviously
just
on Anzac Day. Yeah.
No, I love it. Love it. We had 5 days of footy in a row.
Yep.
We're just going to run through some of the games. We never touch on all of them, really, do we? Funnily enough, if you don't mind, I'd like to bring up that Geelong and Sydney, they took the term grand final rematch almost too literally.
Yep. Yeah, very, very similar. I mean, throughout the game and the final score, I think the final margin was very similar.
Even the halftime as well. Halftime score, we're up by, I think, 35.
Yeah.
36 was the granny. So
up by a nervous 36 or so.
We've blown those leads before, mate.
Yeah.
Tough time never lasts.
That's the vine of this week. It's very much the vine of this week. There was a thriller between the Hawks and the Crows down in Tassie. I think one of your legs might be coming up with that in it.
I think from last week.
Yeah. The Hawks had a game high lead of 13 points in the last quarter.
Quite a close game the whole way through.
Yeah, if that's a game high lead, 13 points, then but Adelaide came back.
Won by 2 or 3, wasn't it?
Yeah,
3, I think it was.
3, yeah.
The Saints, how about them Sainers?
The Sainers.
We love the Saints.
We do.
And boy, oh boy, did they keep marching in. They beat the Blues by 20-odd.
Yep.
Which we love.
And the D's and Tigers played in front of almost 84,000 fans. And Melbourne got over the line.
Yeah, a bit of a comeback there by the D's. And then, if 84,000, as good as we can get to 84,000 fans.
Yeah.
The day before Anzac Day wasn't enough.
Yeah.
To then follow that up with over 95,000 people at the MCG on Anzac Day. That was something pretty special. The game, the crowd, everything.
Oh.
It was the biggest Anzac Day crowd ever. Second biggest home and away crowd ever.
Yeah,
Since, 1958 or
I
something
saw
like
them.
that?
I saw them pop up the stats on the screen during the game. It was 1958 was the. And even that was like 95 or 96,000 or something like that for a home and away crowd.
Weren't far behind it, were they?
Insane. And I had no idea. But it's just the numbers really show how much this round, I think this game, but this round means to a lot of people. I think.
It was interesting that they showed, do you see the graphic about, I think it was like the top 5 or 6 biggest home and away crowds of all time. Yeah. And I'm pretty sure all of them had Collingwood.
Oh, right. Yeah, okay. Yeah.
So say what you want about the Pies, they're definitely good for the game. And the Bombers as well. You know, the Bombers been up there to start the season so far.
Yeah, absolutely.
Up there.
Both sides with massive membership bases and everything. I mean,
absolutely. But the game, it was a 41-point turnaround from 3/4 time, which saw Collingwood do what Collingwood does and kind of hang on in a close one. Yeah.
It was very much a game of, I want to say 2 halves, but it definitely wasn't. It was, I was watching it with my partner, who's a Bombers fan, and just everything that was sort of clean from Essendon's end in the first 3 quarters and everything that was slightly sloppy or rushed from Collingwood's end in the first 3 quarters, it was just the opposite in the last quarter. And it's crazy because that was enough to win the game. Just things like handballs that were a little too hot, too high, just the exact opposite, a flip at 3/4 time. And that's how you can turn around a 28-point deficit to win by 13 in the space of 1 quarter.
Yeah, it's not an accident, is it, when Collingwood keep finding themselves in those positions?
In the last quarter, right?
Yeah, I mean, they would have been not confident, but there would have been a lot of belief being 28 points down. It's like, okay, no, we're fine. There's another quarter to go yet.
This is what we're made for. This is it.
Yeah. Something I do want to talk about after the game. Excuse me, sorry. Darcy Moore's speech after the game was sensational, and it absolutely summed up what the big occasion was all about.
Yep.
A few people kind of raised their eyebrows at appointing him as captain. But as you hear him talk like that, and you go, okay, that starts to make a lot of sense. They obviously rate him pretty highly, and when he's out there talking like that, it's hard to disagree. Yeah, the tributes, as we mentioned at the start, the tributes are always so powerful before the game. So to have the round capped off with Darcy Moore's tribute was pretty special.
It really was special, and it was something different from a typical post-game speech. And I think that's what made it special. Like he wasn't afraid to take longer to address the significance of the round and to thank not only veterans but current servicemen and women, people that have sacrificed for this country, and he would go
and their
on
families
and just sort of taking each, sort of being quite patient with it, and just taking time to address each of these people individually was, I think, really special.
Absolutely. And speaking of something that's pretty special, it's Anzac spirit in general. Like it's definitely special to this country, and it's pretty unique, and it's not something that's possible without our brothers and sisters across the ditch, is it?
That's correct.
I think that's pretty fair to say. So what we're going to do this week is a sort of our funny little weird tribute, as only we would.
Yes.
We're going to run through some famous Kiwis that we think would make it in the AFL.
Yes.
I think it's an amazing occasion. You know, it's a round full of such unbelievable tributes, and I feel like we've taken a moment to acknowledge that. Something that's very important that we do.
Yes. In the most flittiff way possible. Yeah,
it's our own weird flittiff tribute.
Yes.
And it can't be a surprise to many people, hey?
Yeah.
It can't be. So did you want to start? Do you want me to start?
You kick us off, mate.
All right, I'm going to kick us off in a big way. And I mean big in every sense of the word.
Big man.
Big. No, I'm not saying it this way. You try to get me, you try to trap me. No, not having that. Big. I'm talking about Stephen Adams. He's a big, tall, strong man. All right,
big boy.
That's a couple of big ticks there for an AFL player, a successful AFL player.
Correct. Yeah.
He'd probably make a pretty decent ruckman, like an old school ruckman.
Yep.
Just, I don't know, they're not quite the most mobile people. For those who don't know, actually, we should have
who Stephen Adams is. Yeah,
we should have actually specified who Stephen Adams is. So he's a basketballer.
He is.
He plays in the NBA. He played for OKC. I think I don't know where else he played for. He's currently playing for the Grizzlies. I'm trying to think if there was any other stop along the way. I can't remember.
Yeah.
One of the best Kiwi basketball players of all time. Probably would be, wouldn't he?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. So I think he's about 6'11". He's the best part of 7 foot.
Yep.
And he's obviously got that basketball background. So we all know how well that does for Scotty Pendlebury.
Yes.
You combine that with a 6'11", 7 foot muscular frame.
Yep.
He's going to do all right in the AFL. Just imagine the sight of him leaping for a mark, taking a big contested grab.
Yeah.
It'd be a highlight reel for sure. He'd definitely be a cult hero.
Yeah.
I think. Yeah. Yeah, might not be the most mobile. Maybe he would be. He'd have to be all right, wouldn't he? People. He'd still go as a ruckman.
Yeah,
for sure.
but just
no
like
doubt about it.
Even just like awareness as well, like hit outs, but hit outs to advantage.
Hit outs to advantage, exactly. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Like knowing what's going on around him, and I'm not sure how mobile he is and how, but it would definitely be pretty like Goldie can be at times as well, like.
Yeah, actually.
Background, yeah.
Yeah, true. I forgot to mention this on my way back from Tash's family.
Yeah.
At the airport, getting our bags, waiting at the carousel baggage claim.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm on the phone to my old man. I'm like, Dad, who did North Melbourne play this weekend? Was it Gold Coast? He's like, yeah, it was Gold Coast. I'm like, oh, cool. So it is Todd Golson that I'm looking at. And we had a nice old chat. We were chatting about how North have been going, and
really,
yeah, invited him on the show. So
okay, that's great.
Goldie, I'll chuck you a message, man. I know I said I was going to do that. I haven't actually done that as yet.
Good friend of the show, Goldie.
Massive friend of the show. We're going to actually get him on in the next couple of weeks.
That's great.
Yeah,
that's brilliant. Wow. I have so many questions.
Yep. The answer is yes. Of course, that really happened.
Was he there by himself, or was he with the rest of the team there?
He wasn't there by himself, but it didn't look like it was any teammates with him.
Okay.
It was people there with him, but it didn't look like they were teammates.
Yeah, right.
But they could have been. I don't know.
Okay.
North Melbourne.
Fair enough. Yeah. Fair enough. So,
sorry. The point of that there was Stephen Adams would be all right in the AFL.
In the AFL. Yep. Okay. Yeah. I'm going to move on to our next Kiwi candidate, and that is none other than Brendan McCullum.
Brendan McCullum. Baz himself.
McCullum. Baz Ball. Baz Footy Ball. Baz Footy.
Baz, yeah. Footy Baz Ball.
Footy Baz Ball.
Baz Footy Ball.
And what does that mean? That means an aggressive mentality, mate.
Mm-hmm.
That's 100% what he would bring to the AFL. Like, this is a man that comes out at a World Cup final swinging, right?
Rightly or wrongly, yes.
Yes, but he comes out swing, and we don't want him coming out swinging in the AFL. Like, that's probably not what you want. But the aggressive mentality, right?
Yeah, for sure.
And that's always been the way that he's approached the game of cricket, and as a coach as well. That's how he's approached it. Bazball, exactly. So I think if he played in the AFL, he's someone that'll take the game on.
Oh, no doubt.
Take the game on, attack, use the corridor.
High risk, high reward.
High risk, high reward.
Yeah.
He, I think, would be a yearly candidate for the Jasper Pittard Award. For our Jasper Pittard Award.
Absolutely he would be.
I think he'd be the prime candidate for it. For sure. You'd have to almost rename it like the Pittard McCullum. The Pittard McCullum.
You'd have to. Absolutely. If you know, you know.
Yeah. And I mean, that's the mental side of it, but also let's not discount the physicality of the man. He's obviously not big. He's not tall, but freakishly athletic.
Mm-hmm.
Some of his boundary saves out in the field or his dives as a wicket keeper, putting in that effort for 1%ers, he'd definitely be quite quick on his feet as well, but definitely be a good footy player, I reckon, Brendan McCullum.
Look at us go. See, we are a footy podcast and we are a cricket podcast.
This is it, mate. It's coming together.
It's all connected. Fine leg, two full forward, and everything in between. I guess New Zealand's in between. I don't know what I'm saying. I'm going to move on to another famous, I was going to say person, but it's a famous product in New Zealand. And it is none other than the very talented blokes behind Flight of the Conchords. Brett McKenzie and Jermaine Clement. I reckon they'd do really well in the AFL.
Yep.
Now, you might be thinking, shut up, Luke. That's ridiculous. I don't know, that's just what you think about me anyway, so I'm just going to keep moving on.
Just keep going.
I'm just going to keep going with it.
Yeah.
You'd have to admit, after the amount of years they've spent playing the variety of instruments that they have pretty good hand-eye coordination.
Yeah, you'd think so.
They'd be able, as a result, they'd be able to get the quick handball out.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't doubt that at all.
Hand-eye coordination is just, once you've got it, I'm assuming that just means that you can do anything.
That's how it works, isn't it?
Yeah. I think so, yeah.
It's odd that you felt the need to specify that. I think that's just widely known. And I should have probably specified before that they come as a duo.
Yes.
Like we're drafting both these players.
Tag team, yeah,
absolutely. So hand-eye coordination, they'd have a great sense of humour. I mean, that goes without saying.
No
it's
doubt.
A plus when it comes to keeping team morale high, but it would also be absolutely outstanding when it comes to sledging.
Oh, without a doubt.
Someone's got to play that role in a team. In any team. We're talking about footy at the moment.
Yep.
What else could I bullshit my way through about them? They've been known to improvise. You know, they do a bit of improv.
Yep.
Creative solutions on the fly, which is priceless in an AFL setting because of the fast pace and the unpredictability.
Yeah, okay.
You've got to get creative with it.
You do.
You can't sit there and tell me that they're not creative with it.
Correct. I mean, yeah.
You can't. Try it.
No, I can't.
You can't. See,
I can't.
You can't.
I just tried then and I couldn't do it.
I could see it. For those watching on YouTube, you would have seen it too because he really did try. And just when you think, I'm still not convinced, don't worry, I've got one more reason that Flight of the Conchords are going to make it into the AFL. They got experience performing in front of large crowds. We saw it, 95,000 plus on Anzac Day.
Yep.
So the pressure of playing a high-stakes game wouldn't faze them in the slightest.
No.
They'd make it.
Yeah, in front of a massive crowd in the heat of the moment, under pressure.
Sledging away.
Quick
handballing away.
Come up clutch.
Creatively. I think I covered all those dot points.
I think you've covered more than those dot points.
I reckon.
I am going to move on to our last candidate, who is sadly no longer with us, but a New Zealand great nonetheless. Sir Edmund Hillary.
Mm-hmm.
The first person, first man to ascend Mount Everest.
Yep.
I can't remember what year it was.
Yeah, it was.
Yep.
Yep.
Also, don't know if countless Sherpas had made it to the summit before him. But
yeah, I actually know how many it was. It was.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good. Anyway, so Edmund Hillary. It is fair to say that he would have done a fair bit of altitude training back in the day.
That would be a little more than fair to say, I reckon.
I think so.
I'd pay that.
And
yeah,
I think
sure.
lots of footy players do a bit of altitude training from time to time. They go on those camps where they go to Arizona. No, do they go to Arizona? No. They go to where do they go? They go places in the US.
Colorado,
that's the one. Arizona's the desert and
Yep.
Anyway, altitude training. Edmund Hillary's got it sorted.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty decent aerobic capacity.
You need that in the AFL.
You do.
Absolutely.
You do. Also fair to say he was a decent climber.
Well, yep. I think Everest is a pretty good test for that, right?
Pretty big climb.
Yeah, I've heard it's a fair way up.
Yeah, it is. It is a fair way up. So, I mean, much like the hand-eye coordination that we were talking about before,
Mm-hmm.
I'm assuming climbing. As soon as you climb, you should be able to climb anything. So, I mean, climbing up on someone to take a specky. It's climbing.
It's the same thing.
It's pretty much the same thing.
Yep.
So I feel like that would definitely translate.
Mm-hmm.
Would come across a trailblazer. You know.
Yeah.
And so he'd have no problem finding the corridor.
You've got to be able to find the corridor,
just like Baz.
That's it.
Maybe
yeah.
they both do it together.
That's a pretty good pair to have coming off halfback. Hey.
Yeah. And lastly, climbing is life and death. So he would have had he would have been unflappable under pressure,
mm-hmm.
which would be a valuable asset in a high stakes AFL game. Very very calm, collected, used to pressure, mate.
Mm-hmm. I reckon all these would make a pretty handy addition to any team. You got Adams in the ruck, you got Baz and Sir Edmund Hillary off halfback, and Brett and Jermaine in the middle.
Just with the handballs.
Stephen Adams tapping it
down, and then
fly to the concords, quick handball out to Baz, who's run onto the wings and kicked it forward.
No, it doesn't kick it forward. It kicks a goal from 65 out.
Actually, true.
That's the best.
No team stopping that.
No
team stopping. Why are there no Kiwis in the AFL?
So getting forward now, we've just talked about some Kiwis that we think would be good candidates in the AFL.
Yeah.
Now, we have had a bit of fun there, but thoughts on having a New Zealand team as part of the AFL? Like, I know the A-League does it, the NRL does it. What are your thoughts on just a New Zealand team? Not now, obviously, but down the track.
Yeah. I mean, it's interesting. I think it's... Yeah, I forgot that those leagues actually do that too. Yeah, you got A-League and the NRL. Oh, yeah, changing gears here. Bit of a serious question. I think it's probably something they will consider eventually.
Yep.
I think it's probably something they've already considered. We haven't actually... We should probably have a look to see if it is actually something that they have thought about before actually put forward.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be against it.
Yep.
I can see why people would be.
Yep.
It's, there's a lot of argument about the people that are against the current expansion teams that are being proposed. It's the concern is around the depth of talent across 18 teams as it is, let alone adding more, and then adding one in New Zealand as well.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Maybe that's where the next crop of talent is that are across the ditch.
Yeah, it really, I don't know. It is an interesting one. And I don't know what the end goal or the end game of the AFL is. If they want this game to be an international game, and because, going over and playing games in
China
and stuff like that is obviously there's some sort of potentially a desire to spread the game. I don't know. I think if there is that desire to spread the game, New Zealand would have to be the first place that the AFL goes to. It just seems like the most logical place.
Seems more logical than China.
Yes. That being said, I feel like it would be hard to break into the market, if that makes sense.
Given how big rugby is over there.
Given how big rugby is. And it's much like, I mean, it is possible. Like, it was done in Queensland with the AFL too. Like, the AFL in Queensland is still, and New South Wales, rugby is the preference.
Yeah. Right, yeah, it's footy up there.
Rugby is footy. But it can be done. And, if you look at the Swans, GWS, Brisbane, Gold Coast now, and you see that and you're like, yeah, that's not bad. I don't mind that. If you see that and then you imagine that as New Zealand, then I don't see a problem with it if you apply the logic the same way. But it's obviously very different. There's you got to think about grassroots. You got to think about if New Zealand kids growing up would even want to play AFL. That's a big discussion, but I feel like we've just scratched the surface.
See, it's not all jokes on this show. It's just not. See, we can flick the switch when we need to.
Speaking of flicking the switch on. Switch on.
So you're probably sick of us saying this every week, but I'm going to say it again. Switch on is a bit different this week. But you guys should know that because we say that it can be anything we want it to be.
That's the beauty of it.
So what we've done this week, we've had a bit of a play around with Chat GPT. It's all the rage at the moment, not going anywhere anytime soon.
Yep.
And so what I asked it to do was compile a list of... I'll read out what I asked, eh? I said, provide a list of 8 funny facts about New Zealand. Please make some of them completely false, but don't tell me which ones are false yet. Please make sure they are all believable.
Yep.
You'll note that I use my manners there. I always say please and thank you with AI so that when it's running the planet, they hopefully remember my manners.
They remember you. Yeah.
And spare me.
Absolutely.
So what we're going to do is we're going to run through, I know I said 8, but there was a couple that were shit. So we're going to run through 6 of these facts together. And we're going to try and facts about New Zealand.
Yep.
You haven't figured it out yet. We're focusing this week on the NZ part of Anzac.
Yep.
We're going to try and work out together which ones are true, which ones are false.
Yep.
And then we'll ask ChatGPT
to give us the answers.
Yep. So the first one was, which one we started with, Matt?
All right. First one. This is an interesting one. They're all pretty interesting. The government of New Zealand once tried to outlaw the use of the word mate due to concerns that it was being overused and losing its meaning.
Ooh, what are your initial thoughts? True or false?
I want to say true because it's so funny. Like, if it happened, and some of these things have happened, right? Like,
yeah, there are some quite ridiculous stories like this out there. But I feel like the word mate, we've mentioned Anzac spirit. I feel like the word mate is a massive, massive part of that.
Yeah.
There's no way they'd want to get rid of that.
I can't say, I can't see. Yeah, I can see like instances of similar things that are quite out there happening.
Yep.
But I don't see enough of a reason for it to be the case because I know, mate's a very commonly used word in New Zealand and Australia. It's not.
Of course.
Yeah. So I'm going to say false on that one.
We'll go false.
We'll go false.
Yeah, we'll try and agree on these. We'll make a decision together, right? So we'll say false on that one.
Yeah.
The next one is New Zealand is the only country in the world where it's legal to marry a tree.
Oh, jeez.
What are you thinking?
I'm thinking true.
You reckon true? Why?
I swear, I don't remember if it was New Zealand, but I remember reading some sort of article on, like, I don't know if it was
On
an
tree marriage?
Yeah.
What comes up in your recommended, mate?
Like the matchmaking, but trees, like .com, tree, find a
It's
tree.
called Would You?
Yeah. But I saw, I don't know where it popped up, and I can't remember what country it was, but there was a woman marrying a tree somewhere, and it was quite recent. I want to say a few years ago.
Right.
And so just because that's in my memory, I feel like it might be true.
Okay. The only really weird one of these that I can remember is there was a woman in the US who married a train station.
Who legally married a train station?
A train station, yeah.
Okay.
But I don't remember about a tree.
If that's the case, then I think this would be false, just from the fact that if you can marry a train station, I'm pretty sure you can marry a tree.
So we reckon that one's true, right?
New Zealand is the only country in the world.
Oh, so you reckon there's more countries that
I
you
reckon
can marry
if you can marry a
you're
train
thinking that the other
station,
way. Yeah,
if you can
okay.
marry a train station in the US and you can't marry a tree, that's discrimination. That's.
I'm trying to think about how to word this. Hold on. Respectfully, is that more of a comment on the US than anywhere else in the world?
Yes.
No, let's go.
Yes.
Let's go true. Let's go true on that one. We went false before.
Yeah.
Let's go true.
Just to even the ledger. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Next one.
For the sake of other countries.
Yeah. In the 1970s, New Zealand's Department of Conservation tried to train a group of, is it Kia parrots?
Sure.
I don't know if it's...
Well, it's spelt like IKEA, but without the I. So
Is
yeah,
it
we'll go Kia.
Key
parrots.
or is it Kia? Burnsy, please help us out, mate. Kia parrots to operate cash machines. But the experiment was ultimately abandoned due to the birds' tendency to destroy the machines.
I reckon this one's true.
I reckon it's 100% true.
Birds are dicks.
I
I reckon this is so true.
But even just like the thought of a department being like, oh, this would be really efficient. Like they're just sitting around, but they can obey some certain commands. This would save us so much money. This would make sense. Like I can 100% see that.
Cool. So we're going true on that one?
True on that one.
Cool. All right. The next one. In the town, what's this town called, mate?
Invercargill. I don't know if I've pronounced that correctly.
Right.
I have visited this town in South Island.
You have?
I have, but I can't remember how to pronounce it.
That kind of looks like how it's spelled. Okay. In the town of Invercargill, there is a statue of a famous racehorse made entirely out of chocolate. You have visited this town?
I have.
How extensive was your visit?
It was on the way to... So we were at Queenstown, and there was a day bus trip that went to Milford Sound. Milford Sound is like incredible part of the world.
Right.
Like it's very much like
Is it like Melbourne Sound?
it's like Melbourne Sound.
Carry on, don't worry.
It's incredible.
Right.
I won't go into great detail, but if anyone's listening, definitely once in a lifetime. At one point in your lifetime, go to Milford Sound in South Island, New Zealand. But yeah, Invercargill was on the way to Milford Sound. Mm-hmm. We stopped somewhere, and I remember seeing a statue. I can't remember if it was made out of chocolate. And I'm thinking about the maintenance aspect of this too. Like, that would be really hard to maintain.
Yeah, it would. Oh my God, I'm struggling over here. It would. I wonder if it's, oh no, it literally says entirely made out of chocolate. I was going to say like if it's just like partially, but no, it literally says entirely made out of chocolate. I'm sure there's a way to preserve it, but you want to say false?
I think so.
We said true on the last one, so let's say false. Okay, we'll keep that going.
Okay.
You're next?
Yes, I am, sorry. New Zealand is the only country in the world where it's legal to ride a unicycle on the highway.
Similar to the marrying a tree one, I want to say true because it'd be funny.
Yeah.
But then I also want to apply the same thing we mentioned about, I want to say false because I don't reckon it's the only country.
Correct.
I reckon there's more out there.
I reckon so too.
So we'll go false on that one.
Yep.
Because we want it to be more true.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And
the last one, yeah. New Zealand is home to a species of giant carnivorous snails that are capable of devouring small rodents whole. Jeez, that's a bit of a gruesome one to end on.
Mm.
What do you reckon?
I reckon false.
You reckon false?
I reckon I've heard. Well, I just don't think there's any predators or anything that's sort of because they don't have snakes. They don't have any sort of that aspect of danger in the wild. I've heard in New Zealand. I just don't think there would be something there that would be. Oh, you got to be wary of this. Or
okay, all right.
So
yeah, no, I'm happy to go false as well. Then
false. So have we literally gone alternating order? Is that what we've done?
No, I don't think we did.
Okay.
We went the word mate. We said
false.
False.
Yep.
Only country to marry a tree. We said true.
Yep.
Cash machines run by birds. We said true.
Yep.
Racehorse statue made out of chocolate. We said false.
Yep.
We said false to the unicycle on the highway, and we said false to the snail.
Yep. Okay.
Cool. All right, let me ask. Please, you got to remember to say please to Chat GPT.
Yep.
Please tell me which ones are false. And send. Certainly, here are the false statements. So false. The government of New Zealand has never tried to outlaw the use of the word mate.
Yep.
We're
okay.
correct
So we're
on
correct on that one. Yeah.
False. It is not legal to marry a tree in New Zealand. But you haven't said that it's. You haven't said anything about any other countries.
But any other countries there? Yeah. Look, mate. Look. I'd be looking at the US there. I reckon.
Yeah. Just to clarify as well, these are all according to ChatGPT. They might be true. They might be false. Whatever.
Yeah.
The next one, false. The New Zealand Department of Conservation has never tried to train Kia parrots to operate cash machines.
Jeez, I reckon that would have been
Actually,
great.
the clue is there. The clue was Department of Conservation. They're never going to try and. we kind of glossed right over that.
We're just like, someone's going to do it. We didn't realize it. That would be like the RSPCA or something like that. Being like,
I believe the key takeout was birds are dicks. Right. Okay. There is no statue of a racehorse made entirely of chocolate, so that's false too.
Okay, so we got that one.
It is not legal to ride a unicycle down the highway. That was false, so we got that one too.
Yep.
And there's no giant carnivorous snail in New Zealand. So that's false as well.
Okay.
Okay, so when I asked ChatGPT to make some of them false,
yep,
they've made them all false.
Are they literally all false?
They're all false.
Oh.
Well, the key takeout there is say your please and thank yous to ChatGPT, but it's also still kind of a dumbass.
Money!
Alrighty, time for my mate's multi. So my legs from last week. Leg 1, I said at least 3 of the series in the first round of the NBA playoffs will be clean sweeps. Definitely not.
Just the one, right?
Just the Philly, Brooklyn, I think.
Yep.
It's the only one. Everything else has been not that.
Not that indeed.
Mm-hmm. So nope.
Basketball.
Leg 2. All the AFL teams with blue in their colours will kick more than 10 goals this round. I'll be honest, I didn't even check this one. All I know is that North Melbourne didn't kick 10 goals and North Melbourne has blue in its colours. So,
Didn't get up.
And leg 3, an Aussie will hit a century in the IPL before the next episode. Nope, that didn't happen. So, a 0 from 3.
A nunfa. Damn. All right. Mine from last week. I said a Tasmanian will kick more than 4 goals this weekend.
Yep.
Now, I only checked one Tasmanian.
Yep.
I went straight to Jack Rewalt, and he kicked 4 goals too. And I will argue that 4 goals too is more than 4 goals.
Yeah, technically it is.
So that one got up.
Yeah.
1 from 1. I said, on my next leg, the game in Tasmania will have a final margin of less than 3 goals. Now, the margin was 3 points, so that got up.
Yep.
2 from 2. And then my legs from last week were all on the Tasmanian theme. So my last leg was North Melbourne will have more than 342 disposals. And they didn't. They had like 306 or something. So thanks a lot, North. Love that from you.
I'll tell you what, that's what you get for putting North as part of your Tassie legs, I think. I reckon they saw that, they had a look, and they were like, you know what?
We're going to get spanked by the Gold Coast. Yeah, it sounds like a conversation they'd have.
All right, my legs for this week. Leg 1. New Zealand. I don't know if this is somewhat on theme, just one of my legs. It's not like all of them are.
I was quoting it the way... Sorry, I was quoting. I was giggling at the way you... Why did I say quoting? I was giggling at the way you said New Zealand then, because I can tell that you've been struggling to not do a Kiwi accent.
To not do an accent the whole time.
Episode.
Yeah.
And you were kind of like, New Zealand.
Did
like
I say
it?
it?
A little bit.
See, I wasn't even trying to. Then. It's just my subconscious is obsessed with accents. But anyway... New Zealand to have more leg byes than Pakistan in their first ODI game against each other.
Pretty good accent.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll let Burnsy evaluate.
He's gas, bro.
Yep, so New Zealand have more leg byes. Leg 2. My brother's dog will growl the first time he sees me. Meeting brother and sister-in-law's dog that they got some point last year, meeting in person or in dog for the first time. So
in dog.
That's not in person, is it? Right? If you're meeting a dog. If you're meeting a dog in person, do you say in person or do you say in dog? I'm meeting the dog in real life.
In real life, that's probably.
It's not a game. It's not a movie. It's in real life.
In dog. Yeah, true.
So So I'm just the dog may growl at me.
Okay.
Leg 3. There will be at least 2 games this round where both sides kick the same amount of goals.
Oh, I like that one.
Mm-hmm.
I like that.
Not necessarily a draw, but just both sides kick the same amount of goals.
Cool. Love it. All right. Mine for this week.
Yep.
At least 2 teams will lose by more than 60 points. That's leg 1.
Yep.
Leg 2. The chips I buy at the Essendon Geelong game will be cold.
Okay.
I'm going there on Sunday.
Yep.
Sunday, I think.
Sunday Arbor, I think.
Yeah. And then leg 3, I'm going to be honest with you. I forgot that I needed a third leg.
Oh.
So I'm going to say that leg 3,
yep, the
first 2 legs will both get up.
Ah, that's a good leg. I don't think I've ever heard that one before.
I feel like I've done it before.
Have you?
Ages ago.
Yeah.
Anyway, we'll see. So there it is. A bit more emphasis on the n's in Anzac.
In Anzac, yes.
I feel like Kiwis would do pretty well in the AFL.
I think so too.
I'm going to stand by it. And we said it before, that midfield halfback combination that we came up with. No one's stopping that.
We obviously didn't plan that, and when we were just sort of, it was almost like we were workshopping an idea. It was quite beautiful, mate.
Yeah. We weren't designing a team. We were just listing people from New Zealand. We thought it'd do well. And when things are meant to be, they're just meant to be.
It's meant to be.
It absolutely was. How many episodes have we done now? This is 83.
Yep.
So that means how many more till triple digits, mate? Quick maths.
Quick maths. That means there's only 17, I think. So that's pretty. That's not many.
Not many at all. We should start.
Not many, if any.
Yeah, we should start freestyling. How'd you know I was going to say that? That was crazy.
Would you actually say it?
I'd say.
Shout out to Scribe, NZ rapper. Not many. Great song.
Shout out to Burnsy.
Yeah.
Being from New Zealand.
Yeah.
He's turning 30 this year.
He is.
Yeah.
Anyway, we should probably get on out of here.
Yeah, I suppose. You want to?
No, you do it.
Oh, okay. How do I do it in a New Zealand accent? Keep cooking goals.